let's finish strong here. We have x equal to 5 minus 3y. This is a system, and you can choose any way to solve it because it just says solve, but 2 times 5 minus 3y plus 3y is equal to 28. I'm going to choose the method of substitution because we have x equal right here, and I'm just going to put it right in there for x. So distributing through, I'm getting 10 minus 6y plus 3y equals 28. And then combining like terms, combining like terms, I'm going to get negative 3y. Subtracting 10 from both sides, I'm going to get 18 on the right side. So dividing by negative 3, I will get y equals negative 6. Now I want to take that and I want to plug it back into my equation to find the x value. So I've got x equal to 5 minus 3 times negative 6. Be really careful not to make a small mistake at the end here. 5 minus 3 times negative 6 is really plus 18. So our x value here comes out to 23. So the ordered pair 23, negative 6 is the answer to this problem. And hopefully you would take that and plug it back in and check if you're taking a test that's worth, almost 10% of your grade. I really hope you take the time to plug them in, see if they're right. If they're wrong, it doesn't mean that you'll know exactly how to do the problem, but you'll know to go back and check your work and find a mistake. Alright, so this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to write it again right here, but I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. Now the reason I'm picking negative 2 is because I'm going to try to get these y's to cancel. Since they're both negatives, I'm going to make one a positive by multiplying by negative 2. You could definitely eliminate the x's here, but I've chosen the y's because I think it's easier just to multiply the bottom one by something. So this is going to be negative 10x. Negative 2 times negative y is a positive 2y. Make sure I multiply all parts. And then on the right side I'll get negative 12. Now what I'm looking at when I eliminate, we need to be careful, is the top one and this one right here. I'm not looking at that middle part anymore, and there's different ways to show this. But now when I add down, okay, I'm going to get, now be careful here, this is hard to see, but that's a negative 10x. So 3x plus a negative 10x is negative 7x. Negative 2y plus 2y, they eliminate, and then 5 plus a negative 12 is my negative 7. And then when we divide both sides by negative 7, we get an x value of 1. And then taking this and plugging it into any of these equations you want to, I'll pick the top one. 3 times 1 minus 2y equals 5. That's really just 3. So when we subtract 3 from both sides, we get negative 2y equals 2, and then a y value of negative 1 when we divide both sides by negative 2. So the answer to this one is 1. Negative 1. And again, we could plug them in and check. Now this one here has 3 different variables, and it looks like it could be very confusing, but it's actually pretty simple. We call this back substitution. Remember, the goal is to find x, y, and z. Well, they already told us what z is, so we got part of the problem done for us already. Now we're going to take this and put it right back into the second equation. So this is going to now be 6x plus 2 times 4, because we know the z value is 4, equals 14. Don't go into the top one yet because you'll have too many unknowns. But if we just go to that second equation, we'll have 6x plus 8 equals 14. Subtract 8 from both sides, and we get 6x equals 6, and then we'll get an x value of 1. So there we are. We've got the x, we've got the z. All we have to do now is find the y. So now is where we're going to go into, now is where we're going to go into this equation right here. And what I'm going to do is plug everything I know into there. So going down here now, we're going to take, what is this? This is 4 times 1 minus 2y, because I don't know what y is, and then I'm going to add 3 times 4, because I know my z value is 4, and that equals 26. So going through this now, you can see we only have one variable, and that is a great thing because we can solve for y now. So essentially what you have on this side is 16 now. 4 plus 12 is going to make 16. So I'm going to take the 16 and I'm just going to subtract both sides by 16, and I'm going to get 26 minus 16, which is going to get me to 10, and I will get a y value of negative 5. So I found my x, I found my y, and I found my z, starting with the bottom one and working back up towards the top. Okay, moving over to this one here. The sum of two numbers, x and y, is 61. So one of the numbers is going to be x, the other number is going to be y, but I know they add together to get me 61. You guys were doing a really good job with these on your chapter test. So the difference of the two numbers is equal to 15. X minus y equals 15, and then definitely want to add down to eliminate. So be careful, it is not x, it's 2x, equal to, adding these down, you're going to get 76 for an x value of 38. And then yes, we're going to take it and plug it in. Actually, to either one would be fine. But we have 38 plus y equals 61. And when we subtract 38 from both sides, we're going to get a y value of, we're going to get a y value of, okay, I did do that right, sorry. We're going to get a y value of 61 minus 38, so 11 minus 8 is 3. We had to get a 5 here. I don't know why I wrote a 5 there. So 23. 38, 23, sorry about that confusion there. 38 and 23, difference is 15. They add together to give you 61. We did the problem correctly. Alright, last one here. You got to be very careful on this one. First of all, looking at this graph, it doesn't look like the origin is showing real well, so let's try to make that a little bit better. So there's the origin right there, just to make sure you can see that. We're going to have to graph these. These are actually both going to be dashed lines because we don't have the or equal to there. But you got to solve them for basically y-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract the 2x from both sides, and that's going to leave me with negative 4y is greater than negative 2x plus 4. Okay, make sure you're going very slowly and seeing that first step. Then the next step, a little tricky. We're going to divide everything by negative 4. By doing so, that's going to cause our sign to flip. Okay, so this was greater than, now it's going to be less than. Negative divided by negative is going to give you the 1/2 x, and then positive 4 divided by here negative 4 is going to give you minus 1. So when I go graph this one, I'm first going to go down 1 and make a point. Okay, down 1 and make a point, and then I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And I'll try to do my best here, but this would basically be a dashed line here. Thank you. Hold for applause. I appreciate it. Alright, and then which way are we going to shade? Well, we flipped the sign for a reason because now it's less than. So actually, I'm going to take, hopefully this highlighter won't be too dark here, and I'm going to shade below that line. Okay? Oh no, what happened? There we go. Alright, so I'm shading below the line. Now, we have to do the other one here, and I'll try to use a red pen so you can see the difference. So this one here, we're going to subtract x from both sides, and we'll have 3y less than negative x plus 6. Very careful, subtract x from both sides. This is negative here. And then we're going to divide everything by the 3. So now we're going to get y, no flipping of the sign because it's a positive 3. Y is less than negative 1 over 3x, and then plus 2. So graphing this one then, we're going to go up 2 right away. So up 2, make a point, and then slope is negative 1/3, so that's going to be down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. So I will try, this is not easy, sorry, but I'm going to graph that line, and it should look something like this, and then we are less than again. So if I grab the red highlighter here, that's going to be everything here. Okay, so now you can see 4 regions. This is very important at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4 regions. There's a yellow region, a red region, nothing colored, and then there's this region that has both red and yellow in here. Okay, that's our answer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the highlighter, put it on blue, and just make sure we understand that this region right here is the shaded answer that should be the final answer, and it really should go right up to the lines and not touching them, but I went a little crazy there. Okay, thank you. I really hope that you have enjoyed this review and that you are ready, hopefully getting closer ready, to take your final exam.